Hi, Jim.
Hey, hello. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing good. Good to meet you. I'm on my brother's iPad. His name is Errol Sison. That's why if you're confused as to why that's the name.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
actually seen that, and it did cross my mind. I just thought that that might have been like me, fat finger on the keyboard, but that's actually
Oh,
your brother. That's a much better reason.
yeah. Yeah.
So, remind me how are we connected?
Yeah. I'm a part of David Monroe, CCIM's
Okay,
strategic partnership.
cool.
And um, I wanted to get on this call to give an introduction as to who I am. And I wanted to ask for help trying to get into the Slack channel.
Okay, so when did you join David's group?
About a month now, actually.
Okay, and how are you liking it so far?
More beneficial than I thought, as opposed to the more, I guess, coin term guru that he would say. And
Yeah.
the value that I get from it is more than what I'm paying for it, for sure.
Yeah. So have you been part of any other mentoring programs?
Um, Not necessarily. I mean, there was David Tupins. I don't know if you know of him, from Austin, Texas. Yeah.
So were you in his personal mentoring program, or did you just take some of his, buy some of his tools, or?
Just buy some of his tools. I also bought some of the initial tools from uh, Michael Block. Yeah. So
And remind me, where are you at today?
I'm currently in San Diego at my
Okay.
apartment. Mm-hmm.
Do you know Julie Peterson out there?
I do not. I just came here for school, but my family's from Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you still in school, or are you finished?
I finished June 2020 with a bachelor's in real estate and development. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And are you planning on going back to school and getting any other advanced degrees, or you're done with that and now you're launching your career?
I'm done with that, and I'm planning on just going full steam with real estate multifamily syndication and hopefully becoming a developer one day. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is your family in real estate?
I would say yes. We have a few rentals in the Philippines, but not here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long ago did your family come to California?
2007. Yeah.
And did everyone come? Mom, dad, the whole family, or just part of you guys?
The whole family came. Yeah. With my mom's sacrifice being that after me turning a year old, she came here for a better opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know I had a mom until when I was like 6 or 7 years old. So
I missed that part.
So I didn't have a mom present with me, and it was hard for us to communicate overseas. And so I was
So
born.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was born in the Philippines in January 2000, and then 2001 was when she came to California.
Okay, I gotcha.
So
So she didn't come in 2007. She came in 2001, and then you and the rest of the family came in 2007?
that's, yep,
Okay.
yeah.
And did she come by herself?
She came by herself. Yes.
And so what line of work are your mom and dad in?
They're both in nursing.
So how did you get interested in real estate? What piqued your interest in real estate?
YouTube University when I was in middle school. Understood the bigger concept of wholesaling, lease options, subject to master leasing apartments. Learned about IULs, insurance in middle school, but didn't get to apply it until later on, and haven't applied it actually. Just
yeah.
Yeah.
So David, I'm assuming David mentioned the GOB network, and that's how you and I became connected.
That's right.
Okay. So have you had any exposure to the network other than David? I mean, have you met anyone else or talked to other people who are on the platform or went to the website or any of those things?
So the only initial exposure I had was with David, and then I've explored the website. However, all the tools in the members area, the directory, everything on the website except for the Slack channel, I wasn't able to get in.
Okay, so you've already registered on the okay, so
yeah.
Do me a favor. Hold on just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see if I can find. Okay, let me not take up our call time with trying to fix this live right now. I'll just put it in my notes as soon as we hang up to get you access. Were you able to access the actual drive and the First Start Here folder?
I was able to access the toolbox drive, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So everything else except Slack. It was
except for Slack. Okay. All right. Cool. So I know there was a glitch on the website. Hopefully we fixed it. But when did you try to access Slack from the website? How long ago was it?
3 to 4 days ago. I tried again 2 days ago. I tried every day.
Okay. All right. Well, then it's still not working. So what it's supposed to do is actually it should open up. Are you already on Slack?
Yes.
Okay, that you may well, I'll just add you so that it'll send you an invitation. But if you're already on Slack, what it's doing is when you hit Slack, it's just going to your Slack. It's just redirecting you back to your own Slack.
Correct.
So you have to be logged out of Slack in order for the link to work.
Maybe
so that's, yeah. So we figured that out this last Wednesday, that if you're logged into Slack already, it's going to it'll never take you to the GOB Slack. It's just saying go to Slack, and then Slack automatically recognizes you and logs you into your channel, whatever your existing channels are.
Got it. Okay.
So, I mean, I can add you, that's easy enough, but that we probably need to put a note of some kind in there to let people know they need to log out first in order to get the invitation. So, okay.
Got it.
So what else can I do for you? What other, other than get you access to Slack, is there any questions that you had for me today, or anything that you wanted to accomplish on the call?
Yeah, I just wanted to get to know you a little bit more, how you got into real estate, where you're coming from, and what are your goals?
My goal is to build the GOB network. That's the only thing I'm focused on in 2021. I would be, I'm from Tennessee originally, so I'll use some colloquialisms of the South that you may not recognize. So if you don't, just tell me to phrase it a different way. But I would be happier than a pig in slop if in 2021 I could add 10 or 12 new investors, help 10 or 12 new investors get their first deal done. Nothing would please me more. The reality is that's probably going to be, I'm hoping that's based upon the trends that we're seeing right now, that's going to be, I think, a pretty easy goal to meet. I think we're, by the end of next month, hopefully we'll already be halfway there. But we also are getting, we're about to finish the first quarter. So the year is speeding by much faster than I anticipated. So that's really what I hope to accomplish. That's my short-term goal, is to just keep building the GOB network, try to add as many good people that have a lot to give, and that are really dedicated to making this happen in their life, and not just, more about taking action than educating themselves. I think the people that are the most successful at this are the people that just jump in. They don't know what they don't know, and because of that, they actually will get further along faster. So that's I'm the opposite of that. I'm one of those guys that feel like I need to know more and more and more and more. I have to fight that paralysis by analysis every day. That's just in my nature, but we're trying to put together that platform so that there's nothing holding you back except for you. That's the entire purpose of that platform, is just to provide you everything that you need, other than and quite honestly, the hardest obstacle to overcome is you. The hardest obstacle is the one between your ears, for all of us. And so that, will be the piece that's the slowest for a lot of people. That's why you see 80% of the people that become involved in these pursuits, whether it's joining a local RIA or joining a mentoring program or whatever they're doing, the vast majority of them never actually get to ownership. They never become anything more than an interested investor. So and I think that the Slack channel and networking on the Slack channel will help some for that. But mindset and the way we're trying to tackle it at this point is, that's why I have the library on the platform, is to try to give people as much information there on mindset to help them kind of get themselves started, give that push. But I'll tell you that some people need a lot more personal attention or coaching, if you will. And some of us need someone to hold our hand. Some of us need someone to kick us in the butt. And, so I'm probably a little more of a hand holder, and David is probably a little more of a butt kicker. And sometimes we need both of those. So David's a great guy. And from the standpoint of getting more than you get, you'll definitely get a lot more from David than what you have paid for that mentoring program. I'll tell you, if I never found anyone in my 40 years of doing this that has a mentoring program as cheap as David's. And so I think that even though I do not tout mentoring programs typically, I think that David's is, I'm used to spending 30, 50, 100 grand for a mentoring program. And I'll tell you, David's program, I don't remember what it was. I want $300 or $400, has more value than any program I've ever paid for. And I've paid a lot of money for programs. So
I actually got lucky. I entered in when he was just launching his Inner Circle one, which is the most expensive package. But I got in real early, so I was grandfathered in.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's good for you. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about us. I mean, I'm an open book. I'll answer any questions that you have, but you know, I'd really like to hear more about what your immediate goals are, and how we can help you get there.
Yeah, so for someone just starting off in at age 21 with some real estate and development background, I would say my value add play for putting myself in the table at least would be to find deals. And so I'm focused on that as a deal finder. My initial process is to find a deal first and then make the team, make a solid team at least. While yes, I've been on calls and have been on appointments with possible soft commitment partners, I will say that I think for me, the priority is finding a deal first. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
So you haven't been on the Slack channel yet. So right. The email that I have for you is, how do you pronounce your name, by the way? Is it, do you pronounce it Juan or Vaughn or?
Yvan.
Yvan. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Yvan. And have you met the email that I have, Yvan Carlos at Sison at Gmail, is that the correct email for you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you should have an invitation now to Slack, and you should be able to open it. I would encourage you to introduce yourself right away, you know, and give your 30-second elevator speech, and then look for other investors that are in California, you know, to link up with. Have you decided where you want to focus as far as looking for deals?
Yes, I'm looking for deals in Texas, DFW area, but just on the outskirts of the submarkets of Austin and Dallas-Fort Worth area. Yeah.
Okay. And there are some other investors in California that are also looking in Texas. Right. The first one that comes to mind is Trina Chaco. Trina's interested primarily in San Antonio. And she's an engineer by trade, by education, but she's right now, both her and her husband are both engineers, but right now she's a stay-at-home mom. They just, you know, they've got a young son, you know, so you probably want to connect with her and make sure that you mention, you know, that you, well, you can go into the Texas deal bin, you know, and look and see who else is there and make sure and connect with those people. But also, you know, make a point of trying to connect with the local people also.
Yes. Is there only 2 channels here, Build the Network in general?
No, look at the channel browser.
Over here. Let's put Texas. Oh, I see. Okay. I see it all. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there's, I don't know how many, I'm guessing 20 or so.
Right.
Different channels.
What do you, I'm curious, what do you specialize in regards to real estate syndications or just commercial multifamily real estate?
Yeah, I'm primarily a large apartment investor. Most of my holdings are in Texas. We do have holdings in Arizona, also in Oklahoma, also in Illinois, and Indiana. But the majority is in Texas. But that's because I was focused for a long time just on building my own portfolio. Right. But with the launch of the GOB network, I expect that I'm going to be in a lot of different markets. So I'm underwriting. I'm not personally underwriting. I've got a lot of people that are asking me to sponsor deals for them in the Carolinas, in Florida. We're getting a lot of interest in Georgia. We're have some people that are interested in the metropolitan DC area, the Northeast, several Midwestern deals that are crossing our desk. So pretty much all over, you know, that's and just trying to help individuals get those deals done is what we're focusing on.
I think that's probably my initial approach of leveraging people that already have experience or have credibility in that sense, just because that's what I don't have. So that's what my initial value play is, only finding the deal first, because I feel that's the bottleneck of it all initially. But yeah. So
tell me a little bit more about you. You just finished school.
Right.
You decided to get the degree in real estate. I was just looking at your LinkedIn profile. It says that you, I think, interned at the county treasurer tax collector's office.
Yes. So I know a lot about county tax records, at least from San Diego County. And I was able to get access to all county data initially, but for the most part, I helped out in tax research. So if you as a homeowner was interested in getting your property history in the last 5 years or 10 years, I would furnish all that information and then send that to you, of course, with a charge for processing, because that's just the procedure of the county. But there I had a lot of exposure of how property tax records and how they were taxed, at least in San Diego.
So do you and or the family, how do you feel about investing in California? Do you or the family have any holdings there?
We don't have any holdings here. Majority of our holdings, actually not majority, all of our holdings are back in the Philippines, because my parents are going to retire over there as opposed to here.
Oh, they're going to go back. Okay.
So
I'm sorry, say again.
We only have one primary residence here.
Okay. And what do you guys hold in the Philippines? What types of properties do you have there?
We have a multifamily apartment that was built ground up, I think 16 units. And then my mom's working on second or third project in redeveloping another multifamily asset.
So do you feel that if you start finding properties, is mom and dad going to invest with you, or is this something you feel you'll probably be doing by yourself?
I'll probably be doing it by myself here. Yeah. My parents.
And do you think that you'll partner with a capital raiser, or do you think you'll become a capital raiser?
I think I'll become a capital raiser, but I will also say that I think it's a good idea to be partnered with a capital raiser as well. So,
yeah, especially in the very beginning when you're just getting started. Until you've actually exercised your capital raising muscle a few times, it's really hard to know how much you can raise or cannot raise. But I will tell you, if you want to get on a deal really fast, the fastest path, the shortest path to getting on a deal is raising capital. You know, so if you...
Why is that so?
Huh?
Why is that the case?
Because it's the hardest thing to do. And it's the thing that the fewest people know how to do.
Really?
And you'll always hear people say, you find a good enough deal, capital will find you.
Right.
That's the biggest lie. That's the biggest false narrative in the business.
Can you explain why it's the hardest to do? Is it
because most people are not natural born salespeople? Think about when you're in school or when you're at a party, or, you know, there's usually one or two people that are the life of the party, right? Those really outgoing, gregarious, big personalities. And And people like that, it's easy, very, very easy for them to interact. And once they find, they don't have to learn to be a natural salesperson. And most of us have to learn to be a salesperson. It just comes natural to them. So all you have to do is then find something that they are passionate about. So if they find a deal or real estate and they become passionate about real estate, then it's very natural for them to want to just tell everyone constantly, every day, about nothing but real estate. And so if you're not that person, you have to practice. You have to become that person. And it's usually not only something you have to work at very deliberately. And I'm going to say less than 10% of people are natural salespeople. So that means 90% of people aren't, so that's why it's the hardest piece. And also, even if you are a naturally gifted salesperson, who are you selling to? So your network, if you use me as an example, I grew up in Tennessee. I grew up in orphanages and foster homes. I did not have anyone that I knew that owned their own business. I didn't have anyone that I knew that had gone to college. I didn't have a network of money. I had a network of poor people. So who am I going to sell to? So if you don't have a good network to sell to, it doesn't matter how good a salesperson you are. You're not going to raise capital if you don't have a network to raise capital from. So you have to, if you don't have that, then you have to create it.
Got it. And that I understand, but I thought, initially that, well, if I were to raise capital, but there's no deal under my belt, how does that work?
Every sponsor that has a deal that they're working on needs capital. So you don't need to find a deal. You just need to know who has a deal and who's trying to raise money. And you say, hey, I can help you raise the money. And that's how easy it is to get on a deal, because everybody is always looking for money.
That was the other way around. Okay, so the bottleneck is, it's probably equal, but
it's definitely not equal. And anybody that tells you is does not know what they're talking about.
Dang, okay. Wow.
Think about it this way. How hard is it to find a deal? You go on the platform, on the GOB platform, there's 50 or 60 deals on the platform. You go on the platform, you can open a folder in any state and find deals. Can you open that same folder and find money? Because it's not there. So it's not hard to find deals. Now you can underwrite deals and you can say it's hard to find a good deal. But every deal that you underwrite, it's a good deal to someone. So it's not hard to find good deals.
Wow, okay.
It's just, what's a good deal to you? But it is hard to find capital for a deal. You have to go out and work for that. There is no repository. There is no, you can go on the platform and say, I've got 50 deals here to underwrite. But you cannot go on the platform and say, I've got 50 people here who are ready to invest. That's much more difficult. Finding the people, finding the network, and then testing it. So just like when you have a deal, you have to underwrite the deal and underwrite the market and figure out what market you want to be in. You have a similar process for raising capital, but the difference is you're gathering the names, okay? Then you're testing the names. Are you an investor? Yes. Are you a real estate investor? Yes. Do you like multifamily? Yes. Have you invested as a passive investor? Yes. Are you ready to invest within the next 60 days? Yes. How much are you ready to invest in the next 60 days? So that is kind of the process. Now I answered yes, so everything was very linear. It just went boom, boom, boom. But it could be a yes or a no at each stage. And if it's a no, then you have to take a different tack. So each one of those questions can cause you to go in a different direction with that individual investor. But you have to know the answer to every one of those things for every investor, and you have to know it all the time. Because if you're not testing your database, your network all the time, then you'll never know how much you can potentially raise.
Got it.
Because if you haven't asked somebody, and you're counting on them to come in with 50 grand and they go, oh yeah, I'd love to invest, but I've only got 5 grand. If you're not testing it, you have no idea where you really are.
Okay. That shifted my mind today.
So there's a lady that lives out in the Bay Area, Vinky. Have you met Vinky Lumba?
No, I haven't.
So Vinky, and by the way, you need to start getting on some of these meetup calls. So yeah, Julie Peterson's, have you been on?
For all the meetups?
Huh?
Is there a specific calendar for all the meetups? Or when
there is. You can look at, well, there's 2 calendars that you're going to want to know about. One is the GOB calendar. So that one you already have access to. It's in the drive. The other is you can look on my profile, and actually I'll just send it to you. And you can link this calendar. It's a meetup calendar that I created on LinkedIn. Give me just a second here. Here we go. So you can download that calendar to your Google Calendars.
Yeah.
And that will show you most of the multifamily meetups, but there's the ones that I would encourage you to be on the, well, you find the ones that you like, but Julie Peterson's Zoom at 8 on Tuesday nights definitely should be there if you want to meet a lot of investors. Also, Daryl Murphy's Tuesday morning, it's 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Pacific in the morning. Okay, is another big one. Brian Briscoe has one that's noon Central, so that would be 10 a.m. on Friday mornings for you.
Did you send that over or?
Yeah, I just sent it to you. It's in the chat. But there's a bunch more of them. And I'm not constantly adding to the calendar, but if you find any other good ones that that you think are worthy of being on the calendar, I'm always open to adding more to the calendar.
Where did you send it at? I'm sorry.
It's in the chat.
Oh, right here. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
So what else have we got, Yvan?
Where do I access the GOB calendar? Is it under library, you said?
No, the GOB calendar, you can find it on Slack. Do you know how to use the pinned items? Do you know how to find the pinned items in Slack?
No, I don't.
Okay, so on the top left-hand side of the white area inside of Slack,
yep,
there are pinned items. So if you're looking at the general item, there are 6 pinned topics, and you can click on those and you'll find the things that we want everyone to have access to. These are the things that we think are the most important topics in the channel. And the calendar is there, but you also can find it in the First Start Here folder. There's a bulletin board.
Yep.
And you can import the GOB calendar from that bulletin board also.
Thank you very much, Jim. I really appreciate it.
No problem, sir.
Gets me closer to my goal of having a signed purchase and seller contract for LOI accepted by end of June.
By the end of June, let's see, we are in the end of April. So you've got 2 months, 60 days.
Yeah, marketing campaigns running next week for deal finding off market. So we'll see.
Yeah. So what are you doing specifically?
I'm doing direct mailers, and then I'm cold calling them after 3 days after I set them out.
And what, so you said you're targeting DFW?
DFW and Austin MSA. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what size properties are you targeting?
Currently, I'm looking for above, I think, 14, above 12 units. No more than 100 though.
Okay. I would encourage you to try to stay under 7 million. So the ideal properties for you would be between 1.5 and 7 million. And the closer you are to, depending on how you're planning on doing the deals, I would say the closer you are to
7.
No, actually, I would go the other way, because your first time in a deal, you want the capital raise to be small, but because you're in DFW, it's going to be easier to raise capital, or Austin, either one of those. Inside the Texas Triangle, it's going to be easier. So I think if I were you, I would concentrate on deals that, I mean, take any deal that you can find.
Correct.
Obviously. But an ideal deal would probably be 50 to 75 units, because just big enough for you to get property management, third-party property management. But at the same time, small enough that the capital raise would be easier. And that is usually your biggest stumbling block in the first deal, is the capital raise. And if you make mistakes, you want to make smaller mistakes instead of bigger mistakes.
That's why I wanted to start small, around 15.
And I'm a big believer in starting small. And if you find something, a 10 unit, a 15 unit, you won't have good third-party property management, but it's still doable, because we have so many people on the GOB network that live in those 2 areas, that you could partner with somebody who lives there and have that boots on the ground, and kind of make them responsible for the property management. And so it's definitely very doable. Something which would put you in that $1.5 to $2 million range, in staying in that. If you get below that, then you're going to have to find a lot more capital partners. It'll have to be probably a joint venture, not a syndication.
So is the 1 million just a good mark for agency loan? Is that what that
yeah, you have to be, you need to be above $1 million borrowed.
Correct.
So you want to be at about 1.5, 1.4 in order to get agency debt.
So 1.4, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Is that a good sweet spot then, 50 to 75, as opposed to starting off with, like, let's say 35 to?
Yeah, if you find something smaller than that, the challenge will be the management piece. Everything else will be better. Other than management, I would tell you absolutely concentrate on 10 and 20 units. Concentrate on something less, than instead of bigger, because if you only need 5 investors, it's a lot easier to find 5 than 50, right? Yeah. Also, if you on your first deal make a few mistakes and you piss off your investors, I'd rather piss off 5 investors instead of 50. Yeah. Because if you piss off 50, the word's going to get around really fast. And it's going to be very difficult for you to recover from that. But if you only piss off 5, you'll get a lot more traction. It won't hurt you as bad. You'll still be able to recover. So most everything about a smaller deal is better in my mind. But if you get too small, you can't get agency debt. So that's a negative. And if you get too small, property management becomes, you need to be a lot more hands-on with your property management when you're in a smaller deal, 10 unit or 20 unit. Okay. There's no real professional third-party property management in that size. Typically, the only people managing in those spaces are local realtors that are used to doing single-family homes. And trust me when I tell you, they don't have systems. They're not vertically integrated. They're not professionals. They probably don't have, designations from national associations for apartment rentals, things like that. They'll just be a realtor.
So would it just be better to target 30 plus then? 25, 25, 35.
Here's the thing. In your marketing program, if you get a really good 10 unit, you can put that right back on the GOB network and say, look, I've got this deal. I found the deal. I'm willing to partner with somebody, but I need you to be the boots on the ground and I need you to be the capital. Because I'm 21, I don't have the capital. Unless you're 21, you have the capital. I've got a young man that I know that lives, his family is from Los Angeles. And his family is in the restaurant business and in the dry cleaning business. And so they have money, but they know restaurants and dry cleaners. They don't know real estate or anything else. And so they sent him to school to get a finance degree so that he could handle all of the family's money. So he's your age, but he's handling all of the family's money. He got his degree specifically in finance so that he could build a family office. And are you familiar with the term family office?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's basically a single family office. And he's doing multifamily deals now, and he doesn't need anyone else. He's got the family's money. Now he's going to do bigger deals where he doesn't have to use all and only the family's money. But in a small 10 unit deal like that, he doesn't need anybody else, from the standpoint of the money. He just needs somebody for boots on the ground. So if that's your situation, that makes it even easier for you. But if it's not your situation, you still can do those deals. And also you could wholesale the deals. You could turn around and just say, look, I just want, 50 grand wholesale fee for this deal. You guys take over my contract. So I would not shift what you're doing. Just take whatever deal comes to you, and then we'll figure out how you make money on it.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So I've got another call that I need to jump to. Yeah. So it's good getting to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you on the Slack channel and seeing. I'm really looking forward to the next 60 days. See what you get done. So,
yes, sir.
And connect with. I would say connect with Trina very quickly. and you'll see on the Slack channel the people who, once you make your introduction, you know, and tell them who you are and what you're looking for and where you're interested. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate
Talk to you soon.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.